One of the demonic, and by that I mean literally devilish, from hell, one of the demonic purposes in reporting news in an amoral or immoral manner is to beat out of us the fire of human emotion, of legitimate, holy human emotion, to beat out of us a passionate response to something that we see or hear. Another purpose is to change the vocabulary. So these two things together, in other words, the vocabulary of how we report the news, what words we use. So, and not just what words we use when the news is reported, but what words we use with each other, all right? Because certain words provoke certain emotional responses. For example, let's use these descriptors to prove a point. Pro-life, pro-choice, anti-choice, anti-choice extremists, murder, or let's use another descriptor, murder, brutal murder, ripping human beings out of their mother's womb, limb from limb. I mean, do you see how these words evoke a set of responses? I mean, I want to be pro-choice. I want to be able to choose if I want a Pepsi or a Coke, if I want a Sprite or a Mountain Dew, right? Anti-choice, man, I mean, being able to choose where you live, where you travel, where you work. I mean, these are all part of the American experiment of self-government. The problem is they're misapplied. And people want people who are the child killers, no, let's use their rhetoric. People who believe in a woman's right to choose want those of us who are in our chairs or at work, they want us to hear these words, see these images of poor young girls who just need a second chance, like those girls working at the brothel in Pompeii. And if they can just get rid of that unwanted pregnancy, those products of conception, they can keep their job, they can keep going to school, working their way through college, they can put this little mistake behind them. And it all sounds so nice. Or we can talk about two men who are in love and they just want the same rights as everyone else. Well, God had the last word on Pompeii. Okay? I mean, really and truly, God had the last word. And it didn't go well for the residents of Pompeii. And God has the final word on what is right and wrong. I mean, if there is a God. And so the commandment, you shall not murder, the commandment, you shall not commit adultery, the principles of human sexuality that are laid out in the scriptures, that it's a heterosexual marriage between a man and a woman, all right? God gets the last word. But he doesn't just get the last word, he gets the first word, all right? He gets to say murder. He gets to say words like abomination, abominable. Do you understand that God's holy word speaks of child killing and men lying with men as if they were lying with a woman? That he calls these things abominations. So imagine a reporter saying, Bob, we're here in downtown Memphis looking at the Planned Parenthood, which is an abominable murder center. This facility has been used to dispatch tens of thousands of innocent lives into eternity and is providing birth control without the knowledge or consent of parents to 14 and 15-year-olds. These criminals, in league with hell itself, are literally covering up the crimes of pedophiles and those who run child prostitution rings. And they're also trying to seduce young men into a lifestyle with other young men that could cost them their lives with a sexually transmitted disease. Let's go in and talk to the head of Planned Parenthood. Well, it'd be refreshing if a reporter did that. But the end of the matter, at least for this segment, is they want us to not feel. They want us to use their words. They want us to be living alongside of an evil for so long that we just get callous to it. It doesn't bother us anymore. We don't react like we should react. We don't do the things we should do, and we don't say the things we should say. So part of why I'm doing this show is to try and free you to say the words that heaven uses, not the words that the ethically impaired at MSNBC use.